Hello. Just starting out for this evening. This is December the 5th. So glad to be here to share a few things about thinking about Christmas and what your thoughts how you can change thoughts if that's what you want to do. So I'm going to start out a little bit about the Advent season and what that's about. We're in week 2, so it's the week of preparation for the coming of Jesus and his birth. Um, so, one of the things that you can think about as you get into the season is how you can prepare yourself for, ending this year and going into the next year, and how you want to think about the season and for Christmas at this time for preparing for the birth of Jesus and what that means for you and maybe for your family and how you're going to share that with each other. Um, and kind of reducing distractions, maybe not having so many things on your plate, um, and deciding where you want to have the important things for the season. Um, Spend more time with family and maybe less time at the mall or less time scrolling on Facebook or trying to be perfect in what you're doing for the holidays. Just giving yourself some grace to just be you and not worry so much about whatever other people want you to do. um, and kind of think about how God has helped you um, in this past year, maybe to get through some difficulties that you've had, or making decisions about a new job, or whether you're going to have another baby, or those kinds of decisions. Um, and also kind of thinking about what God's will is for your future. Um, Maybe have um, some time to think about the direction that you want to take with the next year, whether you want to do more things with your job or more things with your families, or more things at your church, or just getting more involved in your community. So kind of figuring out what it is that you want to do for the next year. And then get people involved, maybe family and friends, or other couples that to get involved with things in your community or in your church, or just with you and your family, things that you want to do with your family to strengthen the bond with your kids and your spouse and those kinds of things. So maybe, think about future challenges that you might endure or have to think about. So, all of those things kind of preparing for the birth of Christ and for preparing for what you're going to do with the next year. And then as you think about kind of this holiday season and having kind of thoughts about Christmas and what that means to you, or do you think about that, having the perfect decorations or having perfect presents for all the people in your life, or obligations to go to some sort of friend's party or your company's party or those kinds of things, and making memories. All of those things kind of encompass what happens with your Christmas. And if you think about, how you want to approach maybe Christmas Day or that week, and what your thoughts are about that, you can always change your thoughts. We have so many times in life where we maybe have thoughts about, that this day is going to be a bad day, or that, this situation is going to turn out in a way that we don't want it to turn out, or those kinds of things, or manifest kind of how things come into your life. And I think having the thoughts that this day can be joyful for me, changing kind of that thought pattern can help to make the Christmas holiday or season a, a better season for you, and maybe not focus so much on the negative part of that, and think about what it is that I can do today or in the future to think more positively out about that. Maybe have a set of mantras that you recite to yourself every single day. Come up with 3 or 4 that work for you. Um, Maybe saying that, this day is going to be a good day because of these reasons, and say that every single day. I'm going to have a good day because the sun is shining, or you know the kids got up and we got everybody out the door, and that's a accomplishment for today. And or you got your meals planned for the next week or just for today, and I was able to accomplish that for today. And think about things that you can accomplish or are taking care of, and able to take care of and think positively about, and kind of let go of the other things that maybe you're more focusing on, and trying to get too many things done. Figuring out kind of when you want to sit down and think about these things, and how to make more positive outcome, or not outcome, positive thoughts about what you're doing, because we do have control over our thoughts. And it's a matter of over and over again kind of reminding yourself that I can think things differently, that I can do things differently. And I don't have to have a specific plan, or it doesn't have to go perfectly, those kinds of things. And just remembering the season, and that everything about this season is preparing for the birth of Christ, and maybe focusing on that a little more, and not so much about all of the trimmings that go with Christmas and how stressful all of that can be. So think about kind of, there's a scripture, Proverbs 16:9, that said, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord determines his steps." So if you focus on kind of what your goals or things that you want to do over the next few weeks, and how have the Lord help you to determine the steps that you should go, and what kind of way you want to celebrate this season, and finding ways to focus on that, as opposed to kind of the other craziness that happens with, all of the parties and shopping and that kind of thing. And spending time, with your families, and figuring out what's important to you, and how you can focus on that as a more positive way to think about where you want to be, um, for the rest of this year, for 2023. Um, so you can kind of take some time, maybe have a prayer or journaling practice in the mornings or in the evenings, whichever works best for you, to kind of give everything to God, to, this is all of the things that I'm dealing with, and help me to figure out where I want to go with the rest of this year, or how you want to make a decision about what you're going to do for next year, and the walk that you want to do, and how you want your life to be for the next year. So you could start to focus on kind of what next year is going to bring you, and how that can build your life and make you um, feel more positive about what you're doing, and maybe not not do the things that make you feel burned out or overly tired or not have the energy that you feel like you need to do the things that you want to do. Um, so hopefully that'll help you, for this week. Things to think about, kind of maybe do some journaling about what it is that you want to think about, as the Christmas time comes on the 25th, and how you want to handle the holiday, and kind of reflecting and releasing some of the um, just the pressure to be perfect and have all of your perfect decorations and presents and that kind of thing, and just focus on spending time with your family, and just celebrating the birth of Christ. That really is what this season is about, and focusing on that just as much as doing all of the things. Okay, so we'll see you next week.